This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife, Harry and the Overdose. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Prince Harry is the intimate partner, primary source, victim of a narcissist, his wife. He holds this status because a number of years ago, when he came on her radar, her narcissism essentially identified that he would be the best person to put in that position because of the following. 1. He would be easy to control. 2. He would provide lots of fuel. 3. He would have excellent character traits that could be acquired from him. 4. There would be substantial residual benefits. Compared to what this one's wife had been exposed to in terms of potential intimate candidates, Prince Harry exceeded the rewards by some margin. In effect, the narcissism, if it had a voice, will have stated, "Whoopie-fucking-do, jackpot time, get after him, girl." And thus, by creating an infatuation, which she believed was love, it caused her to roll out a various smorgasbord of benign manipulations, lashings of spicy poontang, mirroring of his likes, false compassion for his difficult circumstances, etc., in order to draw him in, and for him to then believe that he'd met the woman of his dreams. As was often the case, he wanted the world to see that, hey, look what I, the ginger spare, have managed to pull. Pretty good, huh? He regarded her as hot, gorgeous, compassionate, fun, interesting, caring, and of course would let him basically put it wherever he wanted. This all meant that he fell head over heels in love with her, and thus became so easy to control. He holds that position, and, like any intimate partner primary source that is drawn into an entanglement romantically with a narcissist, he gets all of the good stuff during the seduction, he gets all of the good stuff while he's embedded, and then it goes wrong. He gets the sustained devaluation, which is punctuated with respite periods. This goes on like a roller coaster ride. Periods where it's awful, then things are really good, then it's awful, and then it's really good. But this then starts to take the toll on a victim. The victim is bewildered. They can't understand why this person who was amazing and wonderful is now horrible to them. They invariably get the wrong answers by believing that they, the victim, have done something wrong, or it's attributable to some third-party event. For instance, they're having a difficult time at work, or they're having problems with extended family, and this is causing them a lot of stress, and unfortunately they're taking it out on me. For the most part, at this stage, the victim does not realize that they are a victim of a narcissist, and that they're being devalued. A lack of knowledge, combined with the fog of emotional thinking and the rollercoaster nature of the relationship, all works to keep that victim in situ. Rather than thinking at the first sign of devaluation, nobody treats me like this, you can fuck this shit sky high, I'm out, the empathic victim clings on, driven by their addiction, trying to solve the problems, trying to make the relationship work again. And of course, there are what appear to be breakthroughs. When the respite periods come, the victim is misled into believing that they caused that to happen. And therefore they think, I can get that golden period back, or rather, I can get the good times back again. I just need to walk this tightrope almost to ensure that I don't foul up and everything will be okay. Of course, that isn't correct. They've just been given the respite period because the narcissist deemed that it was appropriate to do so. It was not precipitated by the behaviour of the victim. Thus, rather than get out at an early juncture, the victim remains in situ, entangled and ensnared, and this then leads to a number of problems for that victim. They've often found that their support networks have been cut away by the narcissist as part of the need to control this primary source. Thus, they don't really have anybody to turn to, and those that they speak to invariably don't understand that this person is with a narcissist, and therefore often provide well-intentioned but a completely unhelpful and often dangerous advice. The victim's self-esteem plummets. They're not sleeping properly. They're perhaps not eating properly. They find themselves losing their temper far more often than they used to. They feel worn down, bedraggled, bewildered, confused. They start to doubt themselves. And of course, where the narcissist engages in repeated revisions of history and gaslighting, that affects the perception of reality by the victim, so that they then start to doubt themselves. It takes its toll on that individual, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially. And the result is that it can take an individual to a very difficult place. Certain narcissists are habitual drug users, and it may well be the case that their victim has taken drugs in the past, or, as a consequence of their coupling with the narcissist, has been encouraged by the narcissist to do so themselves. The feel-good factor of those drugs then shifts to being an escape from what they're experiencing in the devaluation. That they take the drugs in order to numb the pain of the devaluation that's occurring. And in some circumstances, it could be the case that they end up accidentally overdosing on those drugs. That is a possibility for Harry. We know that he has taken drugs before his relationship with this one's wife. We know that he's been taking drugs during the relationship with this one's wife. There are also allegations of Doria Ragland having involvement with drugs, something which Tom Bauer had made mention of, see parts passim. And therefore, it is conceivable that Harry has had recent access to drugs, and it therefore might be the case that he, in seeking refuge from the torment of the sustained devaluation, has taken more drugs and has overdosed in relation to that. The other alternative, of course, for a victim who finds themselves in the sustained devaluation is that they've simply had enough and they wish to commit suicide, and they take an overdose as a means of achieving that. Accordingly, a drug overdose, whilst not common, is not beyond the realms of possibility for the victim who is the intimate partner primary source of a narcissist. They either overdose as a consequence of using drugs as a means of escape from the horror of the devaluation period, or there's a conscious and planned overdose as a means of committing suicide. Accordingly, this is something that could happen with a victim of a narcissist who is an intimate partner primary source and finds himself in that sustained devaluation, having had years of it, as Harry has had. Now, why make mention of this? Well, this is because it's been rumoured that Harry is currently in hospital as a consequence of an overdose. There's no actual information other than something that's been put about by a couple of YouTubers stating that this is the case. Had he had such an overdose, it's likely that all those involved would be sworn to secrecy, other than if it had actually been leaked. And in the circumstances, one would think that if it actually had happened, it would have come to the attention of the world press because of it being such a noteworthy event. It's something for instance, that Lady Colin Campbell has commented upon, where somebody asked her about whether she had heard the rumours about Harry being in hospital due to an overdose. She didn't believe the rumour, saying, of course, that it's possible, but she didn't believe that that rumour was accurate. There is no external evidence, any evidence of veracity to confirm that that is the case. It simply is a rumour. But nevertheless, rumour or no, it's a useful opportunity to enable you to understand more about the impact of a narcissist's behaviour on a victim, to learn about whether an overdose is something that could happen. And it is, for the reasons that I've already explained. It seems unlikely that that is what has actually happened in relation to Harry, and it's simply some scurrilous rumour that has been put about by a couple of YouTubers. But nevertheless, it does provide the opportunity to examine that angle for the purpose of understanding more about the narcissistic dynamic. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.